Hello friends, thank you for joining me today in this video where we are going to take some old salvaged, some kind of legs off of something old and rustic, and we're going to make some beautiful home decor out of those. You know this is my favorite kind of creating, and I'm so glad that you clicked on this video today and are going to join me. So let's get started creating. These are the two pieces that I'm going to be working with today. You may have seen them in a previous video that I was going to create with. Never got around to creating with them, so today is the day. I also have this beautiful finial that I picked up thrifting, and I'm going to use some French millinery and vintage linen by DIY. My vintage linen is almost gone. I should have just poured the French millinery in the vintage linen jar. Would have been much easier, but I didn't. But I mixed it up really good, and I dried it on the stick I started with just to make sure it was the right shade, and it came out this really beautiful, very, very pale, almost lavender. So I don't know why I'm flipping it around and looking at, I do not know why I'm inspecting these two pieces so harshly, but I'm going to give both of them 2 coats of this. I believe I gave it 2 coats, or maybe 1 full coat and then another little touch-up coat where I felt like I needed it. This piece of wood, after I sanded it all down, was very thirsty, so it needed some good coats. Now I'm going to take the Elmer's school glue, and we're going to do the crackle effect with the Elmer's school glue. Now I just put it in a few places very heavy because I didn't want crackle all over. I just wanted it to look worn in a few places. Hindsight, I would have just put it all over and then just put it, you know, like globbed it on, for lack of better vocabulary, in those places where I'm placing it. Not sure why I had this thought process, but yeah, it turns out good, but that's just, you know, what I'm thinking. Then I went over it again while it was still wet with the French millinery, and it turned out good. You can see that beautiful crackle right there, but I don't know. I just think it would have been better if I had done it, you know, my normal, usual way. But I tried something new, and you live and learn, right? We don't learn new things unless we try. So I have this piece of styrofoam that I use frequently to help me hold things while I paint, and I decided to use it. So now I'm all done with my painting and my crackle, and I think it looks beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to take the Grunge Gray by Dixie Belle. I love this wax. I'm going to take the makeup brush that I love to use to wax with and to stencil with and to paint with. They are in my Amazon store if you're interested in purchasing some. I will say that they are better quality than the cheap ones that you get off of Temu or Shein. You can get them off of those places very inexpensively. But you get what you pay for. Here's the difference after the wax. And now I'm going to use this Ditzy Blooms inlay by IOD. If you're interested in getting any DIY paints or IOD products, I have Sammy's website linked in every description box of every video that I make, and it's www.unicorndustdesigns.com. She has a beautiful website, so be sure and go check it out. I went ahead and cut pretty close to my image all the way around because it just works better that way. It leaves less of a little edge around it when you transfer it on. I'm going to use Big Top Sealer because I don't want to use paint. I'm going to spritz the paint inlay side of my paint inlay, and then I'm just going to put some, I was just going to put the Big Top right where I was going to put the inlay, and then I thought better, and I'm glad I did. So I'm going to put the Big Top all around, then I'm going to put a thicker coat right where I'm going to put the inlay. Then I like to use my tweezers to pick it up because, you know, I have this silicone mat and sometimes it gets a little stuck to it, but I do like to use my tweezers as with little intricate pieces. Now I'm just going to lay that on there into that wet Big Top and my wet inlay, and I'm going to press it firmly without moving it because that paint inlay is wet paint and we don't want it to smear. I'm going to take my little heat tool and I'm going to dry it so that I can move on to the next. I didn't dry it completely, but get it dry. I don't want it to smear as I work on the other edges. I'm going to heat it. I'm going to dry it down with my heat tool, and you can see that it's white. It no longer looks wet, so it's completely dry. And it sounds very redundant and kind of silly, but now we're gonna wet it again. And I wet it pretty good and let it sit for just 60 seconds or so. And then here I go with my little tweezers. But this was a pretty intricate little piece, and I really don't want to rip it because you can use these inlays more than one time. That's what makes them feel a little more affordable. And look how beautiful that is on this piece of wood. It's so gorgeous. And then I'm going to take that, once I get that on all four sides, I'm not going to show you that because it's the same process and it gets a little redundant to watch. But I'm going to take that gray wax and I'm going to put that gray wax all over once that inlay is completely dry. You want that inlay to be so dry because it is paint and you don't want it to smear. And I rarely ever use wax. I think the wax worked on this because I used the big top. And I was very careful about putting it over the floral parts. But it did work. Okay, so I made a hole in it and I screwed the finial down. And this was the bottom of my piece. This was going to be the bottom of my piece. Not sure why I did this. Then I realized, oh, this is the bottom of my piece. I did not fill the hole in because it was going to be the bottom. The top already had that hole in there. That was the whole point of me doing it because it already had the hole in there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so no worries. I just glad I caught it. I'm going to take some beautiful chiffon ribbon. If you've been around very long, you know I love it. Tie it in a little bow, and voila, we are done. This second piece also got a good sanding with the orbital sander, and now I'm going to use the Sweet Pickins milk paint. This is my first time using it, and I'm using suitcase and window pane. So you hang in here with me and walk through me with this, and you can holler at the screen telling me what I did wrong. You can leave comments down below telling me what I did wrong, whatever you need to do. But I used equal parts of the powder and warm water, just like the instructions say. I mixed it thoroughly. I used a little whisk. I used a little stick. I mixed it thoroughly and I let it set about 15-20 minutes. And then I painted this little piece of wood with it. No crackle whatsoever. So then I took the window pane, which is what I was going to do, two different colors. This was the intent. And I was really hoping for some good crackle here. Some good something, and really, so I took my heat gun and really tried to force some in there, and I didn't really get a whole lot, so I don't really know what I did wrong. This lighter color was much thinner, and I mixed it the exact same way, but it was much thinner. I really like how it looks. Then you can see the brown through, but I don't really know. I'm going to try it again. I'm not giving up, but this stuff is not cheap, and I don't know. I've watched my friend Bailey over at Reclaim Grace do it, and hers always looks absolutely beautiful. So I decided to get my little sanding tool out and just sand the edges, just start sanding. So it really hit the edges really good, and there were some places where it did crackle a little bit, and so I just focused on going over that a little bit heavier, and it turned out great, but it just wasn't really what I was expecting. So if you have tips or pointers, please leave them in the comment section. Now I'm going to use this beautiful Shade and Song IOD stamp. I've never used it before, so I did have to get my 220 grit sandpaper and lightly sand over the top of them to condition them before I use them. I'm going to use the black permanent IOD ink. And you can see on my paper there that I practiced a little bit before I did it on my project, which I do quite often. And now I'm just going to ink it up with my black ink, and I'm using one of the thin mounts, and you can see I'm trying to position it where it's going to be where I want it, making sure I have ink on all the parts I'm going to need it. And there, we're going to put it right there. I'm going to hold it down and not let it move, making sure that everything's making contact. Then I reach underneath and wrap it around the edge. Then I kind of get smart and decide that I don't really want to use the thin mount, that I need these stamps to be a little more flexible. I do use the smaller little piece of plastic as a thin mount for the bird, but then I decide I don't really want to use it because I need the stamps to be a little more flexible because I want them to wrap around. See, I wrapped that bird's tail around the corner. Look how beautiful that is. I love these stamps. Love my IOD products. They are such quality. They are a little pricey and they're a little more expensive than you will pay for some other ones, but so worth it. Now I'm going to use another stamp off of that sheet and do the same process. Now I'm not going to show you doing this entire project with the stamps, but I'm going to show you how I just keep adding little pieces here and there until I get the look I want. And it's all personal preference. And see, I bend it around so that it goes around the edge of that block. And then sometimes you just need a little piece of another, I just needed another little piece of that branch. So I just inked up the end and stamped it on there. And then sometimes I like to just do little bits and pieces like they're coming off the edge. I do like to dry the ink really good because I'm going to be laying it on that side. I don't want it to smear. And so, see, I'm just going to ink up the edge of that stamp and make it look like it's coming off the side. So you can just fill in some of those little gaps where it looks empty. See, this looks like it's coming down. I love doing that. There you go. Another little piece of florals coming down. Okay. Enough stamping. Now we're going to go to this little, I've had this in my stash. I'm pretty sure it came from Dollar Tree. It was like a little jewelry holder or incense holder or something. And I'm taking some white chalk paint, and I really was trying to go for this little whitewash to make it look a little bit like, concrete, or that look. I think you know the look I'm talking about. But it was a little bit had a little bit of a slick finish on it, so it wasn't really getting the look that I wanted. But I just kept putting it on there. I let it dry a little bit, and I tried to wipe it off a little bit, and just I was kind of getting frustrated. It really wasn't doing what I wanted it to, so I just kept on. And then I finally decided I'm just going to let the paint dry on there, as much paint as I got on there, and then I took white wax. And then I just thought, well, I'm just going to wax the paint that's on there. And then I really like how it turned out. Like, I just kept layering stuff. So don't give up. If you have a project that is not turning out exactly like you want it to, don't give up. Just keep going. That's just how it is, in our walk in life. We just keep going. Just keep praying. Just keep asking God to help you, and He will. Don't give up. Just keep going. It'll turn out beautiful. I'm going to clear wax this piece to seal in that permanent ink and our paint and make it look beautiful, and just wipe it down and buff it out. And then we're just going to glue this little dish to the top. But there wasn't much surface because it was just that little ledge, and I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get the glue just on that. So that little recessed part, I went over in my stash, and because I don't ever throw anything away, friends, I had this little cardboard piece that came in something, and I'm just going to glue it to the center so that it makes it flush. And then I'll put glue on it, and then it will adhere to our wood block. I'm going to use a combination of Titebond Quick and Thick and some hot glue. So the hot glue will glue it quickly, and the Titebond will glue it permanently. This thing is not going anywhere. Then we're going to take what my friend Brandy calls messy moss. I love that. The very first time I heard her say it, it stuck like Chuck. I'll never forget it. Just going to glue that in. I had a few of these little eggs. I'm just going to pop those in there. And we're going to put a little bit of twine around this. And you can't see where I'm putting it because I have overhead camera. But trust me, it's going to look cute. Then I made just a little finger bow off camera. I do have a video that is, I believe it's in the description box. I think I have it defaulted that it's going to be in every description box. It's how to make finger bows and tassels. And you can check out that video if you want. I'm just going to glue that little bow right there. You'll see it in just a second. Hang on, friends. It's coming. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of that moss around underneath because, you know, birds are not always really neat with their nests. So I just thought that looked cute. And this is how it turned out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Please be sure and give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section below. I really want to know you are here, even if it's just an emoji. But most of all, I want you to remember to be still and know that He is God.